So you guys may have seen this video before because it has been posted before, and well, YouTube took it down because, well, they claimed that it was a very, I don't know, it was a little bit out there in terms of the concept. As a matter of fact, they felt like the content was a little bit too sexual in nature. So I kind of went through it again, made it more PG, made it more basketball oriented, and updated it to reflect some stuff that happened within the first 3 games of the NBA Finals, just to make it worth it for someone that's already seen this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I worked really hard on this because I thought this entire story is awesome. I'm sure some YouTubers got out the story since, but in the event that you just like the FlightMike flavor on content, here you guys go. Enjoy.
Friends was like, does he treat you like a queen? And I had to sit and think about that for a second because honestly, he didn't really. So that's when I was like, yeah, I had to think about that. And from then on, I decided that I'm not going to settle. I will not settle for anything less than a man who also knows what he wants and who can, I don't want to say handle someone like me, but who can easily handle someone like me, because a lot of you guys say that you want someone who knows what they want, but I don't think that's necessarily true. A lot of you guys, like when you come across a woman who actually knows what she wants, you guys get intimidated and kind of back away.
I'm making this way before Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and it could be released at the end of Game 1 or way before Game 1, depending on how long it takes for me to make it. But I'm doing this because a lot of you guys don't like it when I draw parallels between player performance and their personal lives, even though I find it to be an interesting little take that the average news source wouldn't give to you. Some people just don't like that kind of stuff, and I'm just gonna let this content go out there and you guys could draw your own parallels to it, because I still think it's a very interesting storyline that nobody in the NBA is going to be discussing, only this YouTube channel. So with that being said, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on my notifications to help our channel grow, and of course make sure you're entered for our PlayStation 5 giveaway. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The NBA Finals are finally here, pun intended. It features the Miami Heat, an extremely well-coached team of youngsters led by Jimmy Butler, versus the Los Angeles Lakers. A seasoned veteran of the NBA Finals, LeBron James, returns once again with Anthony Davis and a handful of young stars and some experienced stars of yesterday. But there's 2 young players here that I want to discuss with you because I feel like both of these young players are going to be engaged in some sort of mental warfare as a result of some personal stuff that went on in both of their lives. Primarily, the 2 individuals that I'm discussing here, one of them are very susceptible to playing poorly if you get into their head well enough. And I'm discussing Kyle Kuzma. Literally in the Western Conference Finals, we saw what Michael Porter Jr. did against Kyle Kuzma. And literally just cooking him once resulted in Kyle Kuzma just not performing well against Michael Porter Jr. defensively for the rest of the series, and that eventually led to some horrific moments like air balls. So this story has a lot to do with Kyle Kuzma and Tyler Herro, and it's kind of near and dear to my heart because my very first 1 million view video on this channel had to do with the exact same woman that we're going to be discussing in this video. So for those of you guys that don't know, the woman in the thumbnail is named Katya Elise Henry. And the reason why she's significant enough to put on the thumbnail is because over 2 years ago, when Kyle Kuzma was still in the earlier parts of his career, he was dating a woman by the name of Katya Elise Henry. Now, this is the same Katya Elise Henry that we saw in the very beginning of this upload that was giving her opinion on what she thought a real man was. And there's a lot of jabs and a lot of shots towards Kyle Kuzma as a result of that. But the highlight of their relationship was probably when Kyle Kuzma and her went on a yacht and Katya Henry's like lying next to him. And well, you know, Katya Henry posts a lot of provocative photos onto her Instagram. I can't really post it in this video. I could get away with posting it in my Instagram stories. So if you guys want to go and see the picture I'm discussing that's blurred up in front of you, go to my Instagram story and you can see it, you little heathens. So the relationship was fairly low key. You didn't really hear much of it until TMZ decided to do a story on the fact that Kyle Kuzma was on a yacht with Katya Henry. But Katya would show up to Laker games in Kyle Kuzma's jersey to support him. And that seems to be a huge theme of what Kyle Kuzma does, because every time Kuzma's seeing someone, at least prior to the pandemic, he would invite them out to Laker games. You would see them fairly consistently supporting him, whether it's Katya Elise Henry or Vanessa Hudgens. But they were dating for a little bit, and it didn't really end so well. As a matter of fact, there's this one tweet that I had a lot of trouble digging up because Katya actually deleted it, and I showed it in the very beginning. But when Katya Henry and Kyle Kuzma broke up, Katya posted this picture saying, "But God, don't ever give me nothing that I can't handle." A fan tweets back saying, "Couldn't handle Kyle Kuzma though," and Katya Henry tweeted back saying, "Other way around." And this kind of became a whole theme for at least Katya Henry's fans, because you guys saw in the very beginning of the video, there's a YouTube video where she describes what she's looking for in a man, and she kind of takes subtle jabs at Kyle Kuzma, saying that he didn't know what he wanted, and as a result of that, they're not together. Now, I'm not going to dive into the specifics of their personal relationship, because that's not the point of this video. This is not a gossip channel. We only bring in these stories when it makes sense and it applies to basketball, because no one else does it, to be honest. So a couple years go by, and at least from my perception of things, there hasn't been any mention of Katya Henry getting together with another player in the NBA. I know Kelly Oubre attempted to get her attention. That didn't really materialize, which is also really funny because Kelly Oubre and Kyle Kuzma have a little bit of a history as well. But the story gets very interesting and fairly relevant when Tyler Herro enters the picture. So the Miami Heat rookie didn't really enter the picture up until the pandemic started. The most relevant to the NBA Finals comes around March of 2017, where my man, this GOAT, Tyler Herro, shot by far one of the most confident shots that I have ever seen in my 20 plus years of being a basketball fan. Tweets at Katya Elise Henry saying, "What are you doing?" And about literally within 2 minutes, Katya Henry tweets back saying, "Quarantine and chill." And statistically speaking, Tyler Herro has never been shooting better since this shot went in for him. I actually went back and did some digging to find that prior to this shot being made, Tyler Herro was shooting 41% from the field. Ever since this shot was made, he's been shooting 53% from the field. Now, when you take a look at the shots in the restricted area, prior to him getting Katya Henry's attention, Tyler Herro was shooting 49% in the restricted area. Now he's shooting 90% in the restricted area. And then it gets even crazier. Prior to this shot, Tyler Herro was shooting 34.2% when he would dribble the ball 7+ times and then shoot. Now he's shooting 58% whenever he dribbles the ball 7+ times. And finally, probably the greatest indicator of Tyler Herro's increased confidence is the fact that he is now driving the ball into the paint significantly more, despite him being known as a shooter, ever since his shot went in with Katya Elise Henry. Yes, because prior to his shot going in with Katya Elise Henry, he was averaging 5 drives per game. Ever since, he's been averaging 8.7 drives per game. So don't tell me that this narrative doesn't matter, because it does. And I just gave you empirical evidence that it does. And ever since this remarkable event in NBA history took place, Tyler Herro turned into a bona fide weapon for the Miami Heat. And at least from our perception of things, they've been together ever since, posting cute little pictures like this. And there's a pretty interesting storyline to this, because now you have Katya Henry, who is, by the way, she is in the bubble, and she kind of is rubbing in the fact that she's with Tyler Herro now, all in everyone's face. Like, the entire world is aware of it, including Kyle Kuzma. Now, of course, Kuzma probably isn't thinking much about this, or he might be thinking a lot about this. I don't know Kuzma's personality. I know he's dating an Instagram model named Winnie Harlow, who, by the way, produces probably some of the most remarkable Instagram modeling content that I've ever seen. So for all you know, he's moved on. But without a doubt, you can't go into the NBA Finals without acknowledging the fact that these two have some history with each other. Now, for all you know, both Tyler Herro and Kyle Kuzma go off for extremely efficient game ones, or they're both crushing each other, or Kyle Kuzma's performing horribly, or Tyler Herro's performing horribly. Although I don't really see Tyler Herro performing horribly. He seems to be a fantastic player, especially in clutch situations. All I know is this is by far one of the most underrated storylines in the entire NBA Finals, and I'd be damned if I saw SportsCenter discuss this at all. So I had to bring it to your attention because I personally thought it was very fascinating. And it's kind of adorable to see these two couples throw shade at each other in the midst of an NBA Finals. So let me know in the comment section down below, because, again, this could have absolutely nothing to do with the NBA Finals, and we don't ever discuss these matters unless there's even the slightest chance that it could affect a player's performance in the NBA Finals. Do you think there's going to be any animosity between these two at all whatsoever? Because you also have to bear in mind that there was a little bit of animosity between Seth Curry and Paul George in the Dallas Mavericks first round matchup versus the Los Angeles Clippers.